Warm greetings to you all. In this video, we are going to learn about the direct method of teaching English. The direct method was also called the natural method because the name itself implies the learner was expected to learn the new language in a natural manner, like one's mother tongue. Under natural method, the learners assumed too much of similarity in learning conditions for learning the mother tongue and the foreign language. The direct method came into practice as a solution for the problems confronted by the teachers who used the grammar translation method in their classrooms. This is a method of teaching English directly through English. The advocates of this method believed that a language was best learned when the learner was exposed to that language environment, just as the children learned their mother tongue by listening to it and speaking it. They could learn any language if they were provided with opportunities to listen to that language and speak that language. To be precise, if anyone wanted to teach English, they must be able to provide an English environment for the learners. Now let's observe the objectives of direct method of teaching English. At first, it helps to understand written and spoken English. The learner develops the ability to understand spoken English without translating it into his mother tongue. A direct association is established between the word, a linguistic symbol, and the thing symbolized by it. The second objective is it aims to develop fluency in speech. The learner is expected to acquire an active command over the language by developing correct speech habits, that means pronunciation and intonation, right types of intonation. Now let's observe the techniques involved in this direct method of teaching English. The teacher in the classroom uses certain tricks or tools, which are also called techniques. The teacher makes use of these techniques to control and direct the pupils' activities so that maximum learning may take place in the cooperative atmosphere of the class. The main techniques employed in this method are: the first one is technique of conversation, that is, conversation of the teacher with the class and a conversation among pupils. The second thing is technique of leadership and guidance. Obviously, the teacher plays the role of leader and guide. He presents some new sentences. Then the teacher guides and helps the pupils to speak the language in the course of conversation. The teacher gives all necessary assistance where they falter or fumble. The third one is proceeding from simple to complex and from concrete to abstract. Then the fourth is look and say technique. Constant use of look and say technique for will help them to read. The pupils watch the activities and look at the blackboard or some presentations made by the teacher while participating in the conversation. The next thing, the teacher always emphasizes the original expression in the foreign language without giving an opportunity to his pupils to think of their mother tongue. The next comes technique of audio-visual aids. The technique of presenting the sentence with the help of audio-visual aids is constantly used in the recent days. The aids used for this purpose are pictures, models, actual objects, etc. which are attractive and interesting for the beginners especially. The last thing is the technique of presenting word and sentence in action so that the language symbol is fused with the thing symbolized. Now we will observe some of the advantages in this method. This method makes the study of English easy and simple to understand. According to Champagne, the pupil's mind goes straight from meaning to the English word and from the English word to its meaning. He understands directly what he hears and reads. Thus, this method aims at creating a direct bond between words and ideas. Next, the pupils make real progress in learning English by acquiring fluency in speech. Some people believe that the direct method is the quickest way of learning and expanding vocabulary. It tends to improve expression in speech. The roots of direct expression lie in the spoken aspect of language teaching. Next, it is psychologically sound method as the teacher proceeds from concrete to abstract, from particular to general, and from known to unknown. It is easier for the students to grasp the content of the particular subject. So, it is based on the psychological principle of interest because it induces the interest of the students also. Next, it makes the study of English a pleasant activity. The young learners are by nature talkative, so they easily catch and practice the spoken language. They acquire practical command of English. This method requires alertness and activity on the part of the teachers especially. The teacher also keeps the pupils active and cooperating in the learning activity by the constant use of illustrative aids. The pupils begin to feel the language. The last thing is it bridges the gap between active and passive knowledge. The pupils acquire an active command of the language. In this class too, the pupils are not passive spectators, but they fully participate in the cooperative activity under the guidance of the teacher. Now let's observe some of the limitations of the direct method. The common allegation against the direct method is that it neglects written work and reading, and there is no provision for systematic teaching of written work. The pupils may suffer from weakness in reading and writing if this deficiency is not made good by using other methods, because this method completely neglects grammar. There is no proper provision for systematic teaching of grammar in this method. Next, this method aims at creating a direct bond between words and ideas, associating words with their corresponding ideas. This kind of associating is possible in the case of limited number of words. It is more difficult and sometimes completely impossible to teach the hard phrases and idioms by this method. Some words convey more than one meaning. It will become a lengthy and intricate process to teach such words and phrases by this method. Next, in certain cases, it becomes very difficult to convey the right meaning of an English word without using one's mother tongue. The last thing is, pupils under this method do not get sufficient opportunity for written work. Written work and composition exercises should form a part of foreign language course with the exception of beginners. Finally, this direct method helps to understand written and spoken English because this method aims to develop fluency in speech. It develops the capacity to think in English and the capacity to express ideas in English. The child is able to recognize English sounds. Thus, it is very useful to the beginners, for this method gives proper attention to different aspects of studying the foreign language. Negligence of grammar and lack of an appropriate word as the meaning of the difficult word are also dilemma and drawbacks of this method. It also neglects written work and reading. Sometimes it becomes difficult, rather impossible, to teach the hard phrases and idioms by this method. The atmosphere that this method requires is difficult to be created in Indian schools, that too in some rural schools and colleges. An average child cannot get good profit by this method. It is good for the beginners, but it does not work in higher classes. Thank you.